Good morning to all of you, distinguished guests and friends. I would like to give the details of our activities and especially what we do along with the other NGOs and other things. And my presentation will be covering human activities versus environmental resources, public action committee, PAC's thrust areas, legacy garbage waste, a mismanaged affair, sustainable green energy, river Satluj, plantation drives, especially in Matsewada jungle, Budadaya, one second please. Budadaya rejuvenation issues, say no to plastic, and prioritize important issues, and finally the end of it. Next. Now this is the map of Ludhiana, where I would like to highlight only the industrial areas which are existing in Ludhiana. There is one industrial area known as focal point. The second one is industrial area A, B and C. Focal point is mixture of all industries, dyeing, electroplating, metal sheets. Industrial area A is dyeing. Industrial area B is metal industry. Industrial area C is again metal and some chemical oriented industries located in that area. Next. How community groups contribute to SSG goals. We harnessing people power for a sustainable future. Now, to my mind, sustainable development, on one side, it is part of the human activities, and the second side is environmental resources. Because whatever the human they do, they utilize all the environmental resources. So, sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Next. When we talk about sustainable development, human activities include industrial growth, agricultural practices, domestic use, infrastructure development. Human progress and environmental preservation must go hand in hand. The scale must not tip beyond repair. Now here I would like to mention particularly the information related to Ludhiana. Here in Ludhiana, there is an imbalance between the resource utilization and availability of the natural resources. The reasons are misuse, neglect, overuse. The human progress often strains natural resources. I have already narrated. Overexploitation of the resources and depletion and pollution. It requires balance between economic growth and ecology. PAC. This is our logo on the left side. This is how the small children, they get motivated to participate in the community activities. PAC, grassroots platform uniting local citizens and NGOs, advocates for eco-friendly urban development, liaises with the government bodies for policy impact. Our organization, Public Action Committee, is an umbrella organization, and it coordinates with various other NGOs, government agencies, schools and colleges. PAC's thrust areas. One is the waste management, improvement, river and forest restoration, renewable energy adoption, public awareness and education drive. And our thrust with specific focus is on stopping pollution of Buddha Darya, save river Satluj, protect, preserve and restore Matewada jungles, stop pollution of subsoil water, water conservation, promotion of rain and flood water harvesting and recharging subsoil, restoration of water bodies, air pollution, tree plantation drive, garbage management, stop defacing city. So we reach out to the public, organize environmental fairs, as we have done it today also for all of you to visit, workshops, seminars and lectures, native plants distribution and plantation. Public Action Committee, PAC in short, is dedicated grassroots NGO committed to preserving and protecting the Matewada forest, river Satluj and Buddha Darya. It is doing certain important things to protect forest cover and biodiversity, restore and maintain the health of critical water bodies, educate communities on environmental stewardship, influence policy for long-term ecological protection. Our key achievements: we halted a harmful industrial proposal threatening Matewada jungle forest, organized mass plantation drives and native sapling restoration projects, advocated for stricter pollution control measures for river Satluj and Buddha Darya. We also built a strong network of citizens, volunteers and environmental experts. Garbage waste which is lying in abundance in Ludhiana at two different places. So the important aspects are which needs to be addressed: old dump sites causing soil and groundwater contamination, health hazards from toxic leachate and gases, urgent need for scientific remediation. Now this is the dump. Why it matters? It is important to understand that long-term contamination of water sources, I have already given it out. Now, bioremediation, use of microbial treatment to neutralize toxins, waste to energy solutions, converting non-recyclable into energy, strict segregation at source to prevent future legacy waste build-up, public-private partnership for large-scale waste processing, continuous monitoring, accountability of waste management authorities. Legacy waste is not just yesterday's problem, it is tomorrow's disaster unless we act now. Sustainable green energy, we talked about yesterday about this, but again, there's plenty of scope, particularly in Ludhiana and whole of Punjab, for tapping the natural resources. Solar rooftops in community buildings, biogas plants from organic waste, reducing dependence on fossil fuels. Here the air pollution I would like to mention is maximum air pollution in Ludhiana is taking place because of the fossil fuel. Sustainable green energy powering the future responsibility, reduces dependency, I have already mentioned. The types of sustainable green energy, solar power, harnessing sunlight for clean electricity, wind energy, low cost, renewable and abundant, hydropower, efficient, reliable when eco-managed, biomass, using organic waste to produce energy. Geothermal energy, tapping Earth's internal heat. Benefits for Ludhiana and Punjab, reduction in industrial and vehicle pollution, support for rural electrification and agriculture needs. Promotion of rooftop solar in urban areas, energy saving for households and industry. Now, adopt clean energy today to secure a brighter, greener tomorrow. Now, this is the general map of Punjab with different rivers which are passing through Punjab. Satluj River. Now, Satluj River is a river which divides Punjab into two parts. North of Punjab, with the old names of two areas, Doaba and Maja, and on southern side we have got Malwa. So Satluj is emanating from a lake known as Pikachu Lake in Tibet, very close to Mansarovar, and it passes through Punjab and covers a distance of more than 400 kilometers. It is the lifeline of Punjab, which needs to be tackled properly and requires attention. Now, these are the different drains on the northern side as well as on the southern side. You can see the drains which are polluting river Satluj. Southern side we are more interested in, I'll be covering it separately. It is pollution by Buddha Darya of river Satluj. Now, this is the actual confluence point of river Satluj and Buddha Darya. You can see the difference. The river, which is clean here before the Buddha Darya touches it, and after it, the water, you can see the color of water which is flowing downstream. As I have mentioned, river Satluj is lifeline for agriculture and communities. It is facing industrial pollution and sand mining threats, and it is constant, continuously it is happening. Community cleanup and monitoring initiatives, which we coordinate with various other NGOs and try and do it. Now, another aspect of Satluj is the floods, especially during rainy season. There are 5 sensitive points on Satluj which are likely to affect Ludhiana. And the most dangerous one is the eastern one, and that is closer to Matewada jungle. It has got its own floodplain area which is extended up to Bodadriya. So it has, Matewada jungle is part of the floodplain, Bodadriya is also part of the same floodplain. As I've mentioned that it starts somewhere closer to Mansarovar in Tibet, en route it is fed by more than 2,000 glaciers. They are feeding Satluj, in addition to the various drains which are connected to it. So the purity of water which comes from the top is equal to as we talk about Ganga. It has got the historical background. It has also got the religious sentiments attached to Hinduism and Sikhism both. Now the current challenges which river is facing. Industrial and domestic pollution, as I've mentioned, sand mining, erosion, which is not done in a scientific manner. It is causing a lot of problem, and that is emerging as one of the major reasons of Satluj getting flooded in Punjab. And another aspect which I would like to mention is that Satluj, during rainy season only, that is, we say that for 4 months the river is flowing well, and it is sustainable, but rest of the 8 months the water is taken out from there, from the top, from where the canals are emanating, and the water is distributed into different canals from there. That resulted to dryness occurring regularly every year for 8 months in river Satluj. And the worst part is when the river crosses a place known as Philor on GT Road, and the area from Philor till Harike, where the confluence point of the river Beas and Satluj is, the river remains almost dry, and you can see the water, a black streak of water flowing into Satluj that time without any ecology of the river. So for 8 months it becomes total dry, and that area is, out of 400 kilometers, more than 200 kilometers, that's a stretch which is full of pollution. Flooding I have already covered. Now, in such areas where the pollution is occurring regularly, it affects the biodiversity, declining aquatic biodiversity. And another aspect which I would like to mention is that riverbeds, they are cultivated. And because of the cultivation, it affects the basin of the river. And clubbed with sand mining, it affects in the worst manner. Then encroachments, and because of the encroachments, there are certain islands within the center of the river flow. And that is the reason that the meandering effect takes place of the river in one direction, and it causes flooding. Our request, which we keep on conveying it to everybody, we must stop pollution at source, strict enforcement of environmental laws with ZLD, that is zero legal discharge. Restore repair vegetation to stabilize banks, promote community-based water conservation and cleanup drives, regulate sand mining and protect aquatic habitats, raise awareness through schools and colleges and civic bodies, which we keep on doing regularly. A clean and flowing Satluj means life for Punjab. Protect it today for tomorrow. That is very important for us. Now the plantation drive. We advocate most of the plantation with the help of the native trees, which we encourage to the people to do it. We did a plantation drive in the month of July from 1st to 7th, and thereafter continuously. And there we got the children from schools and colleges, and they came, and more than 3,000 students they participated as part of the community for this plantation and restoration of Mathewada jungle. And there we thought because we found the resources with the forest departments are very negligible. We found a borewell there, but we thought and we discussed that how do we are going to sustain the plants subsequently. So there is no electricity inside the jungle. So what we thought of utilizing the solar panels fitted on a trolley, mobile trolley, along with the fitting of a 3 HP horsepower motor to do the watering of the plants. So we didn't have the resources, so we projected the requirement to the various industrialists or MPs. Then one of the MP, Rajya Sabha MP, Sant Babas Sichewalji, Balveer Singh Sichewalji, he volunteered and he has donated that trolley mounted with the motor as well as the solar panels and given it to the forest department. Then again we thought of why not do something more. So we had the ICR with us, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research. They came for our rescue along with the forest department. So they suggested to have a drip system for all the plantations there. So we approached the water conservation, water and soil conservation department, and they happily agreed to create an infrastructure of drip system as a demonstration jungle patch within Mathewada. So very soon they are going to install that. Now another request, we told them that there is a shortage of water within the jungle, and biodiversity especially requires water, and there is only one water hole which we require more, and they have agreed to create a check dam on a drain which is passing through the jungle. So we are advocating prevention of illegal cuttings within the jungle. Now the jungle has got some peculiar problems. It has got the weed, we call it a pahadi kika, that is dominating along with many other shrubs. So gradually we are working on that along with the various NGOs and government agencies to develop that area. And here I would like to share with you information that the state government has agreed to a plan of converting that Mathewada jungle into a big biodiversity park, and the plan has been already forwarded to the central government for approval and change of plan. Now Mathewada jungle has already got few resources already existing within jungle. Now one is that it has got a botanical garden which requires constant attention and maintenance. The second one is butterfly park. Then it is very interesting to see the biodiversity which is existing there. And the river Satluj is just in the close proximity, as I mentioned, that Mathewada jungle is part of the floodplain of river Satluj. It has got its own biodiversity, botanical garden, butterfly, I have told you. Then there are certain existing structures there which we want to convert it for proper use. That is also under consideration. Then a road which is passing and dividing particularly Mathewada jungle into two parts, that is Ramo Road. And we suggested to them, instead of making a plain road, you make an elevated road, which the government agreed, and now they are constructing an elevated road so that the biodiversity movement from east to west or west to east is not affected. It has got its own existing drains, water hole, water bodies. There are certain existing dry lakes which need to be again addressed, and it has got a oxbow lake. It is very interesting to see this lake. Visually, it has got no direct contact with the river, but whenever there is flood in the river, then automatically through the earth underneath, the water comes into this lake. Then existing flora and fauna. Jungle has got 50 species of birds, 20 species of mammals. Then there are certain endangered species like rock python, peacocks, wild boars. The jungle has latest, for the last 1 year, it has got a pair of panthers with 2 cubs. Now this is the photograph of the contribution of the students they have done during this drive from 1st to 2nd July. Buddha, there are rejuvenation issues.
Green.
We don't call it Nala. We want to change the mindset of the people, those who are calling it a Nala. It is not a Nala. Historically, it is a river. It is an old creek of river Satluj, presently with no connection with Satluj, but it has got a connection through a drain from the canal, where the water supply is maintained into Buddha Darya. Now the specific areas, this Buddha Darya covers a distance of approximately 58 kilometers in Ludhiana, 14 kilometers within the municipal limit, and plus all areas, one in the eastern side upstream and the second one in the downstream. The rejuvenation project, in brief, last government agreed to carry out the rejuvenation of the Buddha.
I think we'll wind up now, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry, we'll be covering it sometime later, if possible. Then last slide, let's do last. Now there are some issues which I can touch. Anyhow.
Sometimes you can briefly state whatever you want.
Sorry?
The important points you can stay in the one-liner.
He has told me to wind up.
No.
Yeah, you can take a minute to wind up, sir.
Wind up.
No, it won't take a minute. It takes at least 10 minutes to wind up.
Okay.
I leave it to the dignitaries.
In the end, I will say, I'm sorry I couldn't complete it in time, but whenever we meet again, definitely we'll cover it, certain points in the display area or in the question answer session. Thank you very much for patience.
Thank you, Colonel Ahmed. So it's a very pressing issues. We're sorry about the time. But at this point of time, I would like to welcome the keynote speaker of the day, Dr. Adarsh Pal Viksa, former chairman of Punjab Pollution Control Board, requesting Dr. Neeta Raj ma'am to please accord a floral welcome to our honored keynote speaker. Thank you, and requesting sir to please initiate his keynote address. 20 minutes for the address, and we have a couple of questions after that.
This way. Viksa? From here? From here.
If you have a question or two, whatever. Okay, right. So we'll be there in the panel discussion, so you can put up your queries that time. So I would like to formally welcome and introduce the keynote speaker, Dr. Adarsh Pal Viksa. He's a former chairman of Punjab Pollution Control Board, and he brings with him an expertise in environmental policies and eco-tradition integration. With decades of work dedicated to pollution control, eco-traditions and sustainable governance, he has significantly shaped environmental policies in Punjab. He has worked tirelessly to integrate ecological wisdom with modern urban solutions, stressing the importance of community participation in sustainability. His expertise spans issues of air, water and soil quality, along with innovative approaches to resilience building. So today, he will speak on the critical need to learn from eco-traditions for sustainable urban environments. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Adarsh Pal Viksa.
Thank you, the organizers, for giving me these opportunities. The lovely audience sitting in this big hall and interested for creating our cities, rather rejuvenating our cities to the past glory. Because earlier there was no problem of the cities, or there was no problem of the pollutions as such, and they were the beautiful good days. But now we are advanced so much with the development and so many good things. But one important thing, which is nature or environment and different components of the environment or the natural sources, we have been polluting, they are degrading, and then we are putting certain words of protecting them, sustainability, the smartness, the green word, but still the trend is not being reversed. So I think the best way is to learn from the past, which we seldom say that no, we have progressed a lot. Why we should go back? Because one term means always in terms of protecting the nature. Go back to the nature, go back. Then say, no need to go back. We are advanced in that. But literally meaning of this thing is not going back to the traditional days or living style, but the maintaining the good practices. Rather, I will request that you should not be, you can say that they were not developed, or the things were very slow at that time. You should have their good principles, and principles can be put in the new perspective so that the effect remains good. But only looking the good words and whole thing depending upon the, you can say, mechanized kind of thing, machinery kind of thing, or technological intervention. And nowadays we are more depending on AI. So I think this is my perspective of this particular talk, and this fits everywhere in solving the problem of pollution. So today I will be referring air, but it will be same for water conservation, it will be same for your earth or soil or even management of the waste. That I may not be able to touch. But air, which is very important, everything is important, but today we have to refer the cities. Cities means air. So let me first, and we will have a discussion or interaction that why those things are important and why we have left, that I will try to discuss, then we can have discussions. And I'm not against the technological developments, but if the impact is different, then you have to think that why we are depending only on this technology and the things are not being. So air pollution in the cities, first thing is why it is only in the cities, why not in rural areas? Have you thought? If I can use the Hindi in between because may not be many foreigners. गांव में वहाँ क्यों नहीं एयर पोल्यूशन का बात होती है? सिटीज में पोल्यूशन होती है. द नेशनल क्लीन एयर प्रोग्राम इज ओनली फॉर 131 cities और उसमें 1000 crore rupees have been spent and the target was to bring down the PM10 to 40% reduction.
Because of the density of population.
Yes, very right, very right. I am the only one who is telling this point, but Shri Prem ji, yes, जो मैंने बोलना था वो पहले बता रहे हैं. Otherwise, no where ही नहीं सुना होगा मुझे, या मुझे सुना होगा शायद आपने.
अभी आपने पूछा था.
हाँ.
Sir, we will have to speak in English. Sorry.
No, of course.
Project collaboration.
That's why I asked. But I will not use that much English. Only little few points which will strike the minds of the students. That is important. So, population density. The person living per unit area. So that is obvious different in cities and rural. That's why there is no problem. But when we consider to take the factors responsible for air pollution in cities, we never take density, population density. Not population, mind it. Population density is different. Population is no problem. Population is a perspective of the whole country or the whole world. But population density means persons trying to live particular area. Or in other words, if you can't want to say that you have technologically gone from horizontal to the vertical, high-rising building, and you are very happy. But tell me, that particular land of 1000 square yard or 2000 where you have built that much good colonies, so the pressure will go on that, and more habitat, more humans, more needs, more energy conservation, more waste generation, and more air pollution and other pollution. Simple. There is no such different formula. So, control of population density, high-rising building, flat culture, land and population ratio. This is the one point. This is vertical. So I am telling you the issues. No doubt when you call about the pollution of the air, the transportation factor, the industrial factor, the dust factor, they are all there. But why they are there? Because more persons are trying to live in a small place. So that's why they are increasing. This is one point. Second, limits of the cities. No doubt you are also expanding horizontally. But you have no limits for any city. No limits. And what you say, no, we have to grow, there is more population, everybody wants to live in the city. That's good, no problem. But if it is maintained, then it is good. If it is not maintained, then who will come to live? When the person from Delhi visit Jalandhar or Amritsar, what they say? They say we have moved from hell to heaven. They say like this. The children who might be studying here and they are from Delhi. Or maybe some other city. I am not blaming any city, please. Not blaming any city. The city's responsibility is its own population. Adarshpal or anybody has nothing to do. I am only discussing, being educationist, being a policy maker, being the expert in that sense, only discussing, trying to discuss the things. So where is the limit? Corporations are there, municipal bodies are there. So what they do? They increase the city limits. That's all. Because city has expanded and we have increased the limit.
Thank you.
And whether they have increased the facilities. So that mismatch is one more point. Then the expansion word, you can say huge expansion. Then another, this is second point. Third point is another term, satellite cities, twin cities, sister cities. This is, I think, a kind of bluff with the brain. A bluff with the brain that you are not disturbing a main city. We have developed another sister city which is near that, and it belongs to the other state. And the case is of Delhi. The Gurgaon, the Faridabad, the other thing. And the same case is of Chandigarh. Chandigarh is known for its environment, the beautiful city. What happens to Chandigarh? Chandigarh may have being UT, have a good laws or they might have maintained, but what will happen when the Mohali will come, when Jirakpur is there, when this Panchkula is there, and when this new Chandigarh is coming, Dera Basi is coming, fully industry. So where the impact will go? This is not a brother-sister relation. Twin cities, but they put the different names. So, but where the pressure? So this is again a new kind of things. Then they call it as a NCR, National Capital Region. So look, what you have done, instead of calling Delhi as Delhi, you have called the NCR. And you have taken the whole population into one part. So these are the few issues which I try to highlight, that satellite cities, this kind of things. Then the last point is, I have so many examples, maybe other in Mumbai or other, you can always see there are these kind, all these three things are happening everywhere. Maybe in small cities. The urban cities or the new cities are like that. But here I want to say there should be the limit of the cities. You define the limit and build a different city distant apart. What distant? That is the government bodies to tell, maybe 200 kilometers, maybe more than that. That should be the criteria. So there is no such guidelines, there is no such following. That rather they are trying to merge the cities. So merging means you can call the name, maybe Delhi mein rehta hu main. It's near to Delhi. So but these three things are very important to understand, which are not being understood for being the cause of the air and other kinds of pollution. And maybe the mountains of the solid waste, they are also coming because of this. The whole water bodies are being spoiled. And the last point is, what should I call? Reconstruction. This is in neutral. You are not happy with the construction. You want to rebuild your things. Why? Because you are in a fashion that things has become old. And these buildings, they may be having long lifespan. But the person involved in development or construction activity, they say, no, the design is different. It is 10-year-old, it is 20-year-old, maybe 50-year-old. So no, you cannot live in this style. So you change your building. So new construction is one thing, reconstruction, I emphasize, reconstruction. Demolish the old one and make the new construction. So I think these are the few issues which comes in my mind as a policy. And I am very surprised, nowhere in any system, nowhere in any books or nowhere in any policies these things are being taken as a problems kind of things, especially in the cities, especially in the air pollution. So now, remedies. So now, when there is a problem, if you solve those problems, it will automatically become remedies. But anyhow, remedies means, as I told you earlier, you must learn or understand from your tradition. And thanks that some of my age are sitting, and I will correlate with that because this new generation, they might have not seen those kind of things which were there in cities, and cities were not polluted at that time. Maybe 60 years back, 40 years back, they were not polluted. But as such, the pollution was there. And I always say the solution lies in Indian traditional environmental ethos. And it is same for every kind of pollution, but today I will only refer here. I have all other kind of things which I can explain later on if this time permits. But here I will only link, rather remind you, and this is rather duty of our seniors to implement those things and tell to the young generation that were the strategies and ways and means where they were adopted, and there was good cities and they were free from the pollution kind of city. And Amritsar, from where I belong, it is always called as Amritsar Sifti Dakar in Birmingham. Because of heritage it is called, but otherwise it was a very good city for eating and good air and good kind of thing. But it is now again following those good things, especially Chandigarh, which I was telling you. Nobody thought when the Mohali came, when this Panchkula, everybody was there, no, I will not go to Chandigarh, I will live in Mohali because I will enjoy the Chandigarh. But they have done it in a reverse manner. They have, now you cannot move in Chandigarh, the traffic and other kind of thing. Simple, more humans, more vehicles, more industry, more requirement, more energy, more this waste management, waste generation and all kind of things. No, you cannot control anything. So what are those good traditional practices? Road sprinkling. This is very simple thing. Why you are emphasizing? This is not a technology. But tell me now, have you seen road sprinkling, water sprinkling on the roads? Tell me, any young persons, बच्चों देखा कभी पानी गिराते हुए कहीं सड़कों पे? What do you enjoy? You close your car and put your AC, and all rest is dust on the roads. And when I was going to school, I remember in Amritsar, there were tankers and there was a kind of outlets on the lower side with the holes and other kind of thing, and they were putting water on the roads, and they were moving, and we were enjoying with that water, rather sometimes taking that water. And those sprinkling were maybe 2 times or 3 times a day, road sprinkling. So you will say, no, we are talking of air. There is no relation of water with the air. And the technology was that the Safai Karamchari, the person who is responsible, he was cleaning, and immediately the sprinkling was there, and he was separating that dust into a particular thing, and that dust was managed, if it was there. Because at that time dust was very, very less. So you don't say this now we are putting technological guns and that kind of thing, but still they are not being used. You can change. What I say, traditional system you can improvise in a system. You can put a pressure kind of thing, you can have a minute mist kind of things, you can have a more simple, very, very simple. First thing is, you must stop the sources of the air pollution. That is always important. But anyhow, something has to come because you are living. But it has to be absorbed by the water. No else. Now we say that you put the guns on the top of the buildings and that kind of thing. But how many? That is the correct way. But we should do it. So this is one thing. Road sprinkling. Then fountains.
बच्चों देखा कभी आपने कहीं फुहारा देखा कहीं? फाउंटेन्स देखे कभी? Now that fountain were in the dividers of the roads. There were 2 or 3 fountain squares in every city. When you go to a golden temple, the first road where now that has converted into heritage city, there was a उसका नाम ही यही था फुहारे वाला चौक. And they were little, and all those gardens, they were full of the fountains. Green plus water, the good environment, simple. No, they have removed all because they thought these sprinklers and these fountains, they are a beautification. This is not a beautification, they are the method of mitigating the pollutants. And there was no PM10 at that time, PM2.5 and some kind of thing, because these things were existing. So they were giving a static value as well as improvement of the. No space is there. They are spoiled. Who will maintain? Corporation has no fund to maintain this kind of thing. We need a space. Why we put the fountains in the divider? So many reasons. But they were running whole day. I have seen with my eyes because I belong to that city. And many of you might have seen. So fountains on dividers, road roundabouts, or such kind of things, that is very important. Then the green, which is always there, still it is there, which we call as green area, green belts, or greening of the urban cities. As Colonel Saab was telling about the Matewal, we are encroaching the jungles, but firstly we have encroached the green areas of the cities. You want to have a home, you want to have a house, 500 square yard, 1000 or maybe 100 square yard, but still everybody wants to encroach the green belt. And parks, another thing. It is very easy to say, but encroachment of the green areas of the cities is very common. It has already occurred. Rather, it is still going on. The government, the corporation mandates that this much 5 feet or other things.
Request from the chair to please.
So, green belts, what we call. So, if we are not satisfied with our home, so how I can be satisfied with 2 or 3 feet? I don't understand. Tiles, use of tiles. I call them as enemy of the environment. You take my words. Tiles are enemies of the environment. Follow? If it should be there should be bricks or perforated at least. The dust can be bind in a fashion by the grass. Grass is the real binder of the soil, not the tiles. Mind it. And technological says, and in a national clean air program, tiles are mandatory to put. So what will happen? At one time the dust will be suppressed by putting the tiles, but other time the more dust will come on the tiles. And no water recharge. So please, don't use tiles. If it has to be used, because you have to move, it has to be porous or it should be minimum, and there are certain soil, red soil that is bigger than soil. They can recharge and you can move on that. And moving on grass is better for your knees, not these tiles. All parks are not now green, they are all tile parks. In every city, you can go and see. So that is very dangerous. Presence of water bodies, where they have gone. What our religion told us, any temple, any gurdwara, why they have ponds? Because water conservation as well as purification of the air. That is not meant for doing a puja. They are meant for taking amrit. Amrit means clean water. So now, along with air, the heat waves are also coming because all these things you have left in your cities. So those presence, that is the traditional things. Grass is the binder, that is the real charge. Then open burning. I am not touching the waste, but still What is open burning? Every shopkeeper burns at the night, and every Safai Karamchari, he burns in the morning. And everyone who is doing a good thing of langar or so many kind of thing, ultimately no management of waste is going on. Burning, open burning is banned by NGT, 5,000 fine is there. So then plantation we are doing very good. But what kind of plantation? Lime plantation. Lime plantation, that much purpose is not served. Patch plantation. Make mini urban forest. We have taught the afforestation to everyone. I am botanist, but nowhere afforestation has been done. Rather deforestation. Mini urban forest. We have developed in Amritsar near our pollution board office, 2.5 acre. So anybody can. What is that concept? Very simple. Take a land, put the plants, put a fence small, put a water source, put a person for 2 or 3 years, automatically that will grow. That's all. But lime is like you are selling 5,000 trees. If it is in the jungle, then it's okay. But if it is in the urban area, mainly 1/3 or 1/4 will be left. So that is good, no problem. But mini urban forest will be more kind of things. We should stop overlapping of the zones. There are industrial zones, other zones, so overlapping is there, they are mixed zone. That urban development authorities, they have to look, this kind of residential should be separate. We have developed a mix. Mix means nobody is responsible. Then the making of houses, all houses including where I am sitting or my house, not here, no ventilation, no sunlight, no air system, all ACs. We are very happy with the technology because we can spend. Sunlight is the real source of killing the microbes. They are disinfectant. Ventilation coefficient should be there. Proper air should be there. The central this duct should be there. So where that kind of houses has gone. So these ventilation, sunlight, and zero waste culture. I am not touching in detail. What was our culture? In India, 50 years back, aap yaad kar lo jo khade hai. Was there any dustbin in your houses? We were not having a dustbin culture because India was a recycling, reuse, zero waste system in every house. So how to e-vehicles are coming, they are good for protecting the pollution on the front area, but where the batteries will go, that has to be looked after. So these kind of things are there. So then we have one open burning or stubble burning is also one issue that I will just touch because they said that has been reduced in particular Punjab. This is again a bad habit. I am not going to, but still we have been able to reduce in the last 5 years. And what are the technologies? XC2 is very prominent. Those stubble is being utilized in boilers to convert energy, CBG gases, and pellets. I will give you the pamphlet. You can make the pellets out of that energy, and that can be utilized in thermal and this brick kiln kind of thing. I am not elaborating. What we have done, the first para, we have honored the farmers who were not burning. The system says stop the farmers who are burning. You see the person who are not burning, they are the real heroes. So once they are promoted, the others will also follow that kind of thing. So that was my strategy, and the reverse thing has happened. Punjab has learned the lesson, and other states, MP and UP and other, they have started burning. Because I always say burning has become a habit. So stop this kind of habit. So these are the few issues, and then Sichewali, he has told, there are certain persons who are doing good work. We must join shoulder with them, NGOs and those kind of things. And the last, cycling, walking, Tonga, and all these kind of things are there. No plastic burning. And the last traditional point, does any culture says that air can be purified? Only Indian culture says. How? By doing havan, by doing yagya, by doing these candles of the desi ghee. This is the tradition of it. So you must learn and follow the good principle. Thank you ji, dhanyavad, shukriya.
Thank you sir. बहुत काफी startling facts और कुछ solutions भी बताए. A couple of questions from the audience.
I thought
I have already surpassed the time. Anything you want to ask or contribute, I will be happy. Anji.
Students, please.
Can you pass on the mic, please?
दूसरे बोल दे दाढ़ी बाल.
Good morning, everyone. You were talking about the encroachments. Encroachment is there even on the Buddha Darya banks.
Yes, of course.
You see,
Everywhere.
Not everywhere, because Buddha Darya is one of the pollutants, main pollutants of Ludhiana.
Of course, of course.
We are talking about making Ludhiana smart, sustainable, and green. And Buddha Darya is one of those which is making it not green but black.
Yeah, of course.
You see, that needs to be talked about. About the parali, you have talked that the agriculturalists, the farmers are burning this, but you have not talked why they are burning it. Is there a solution to it? Because it is not viable for them to let it go like that. So, easy way out is because economically it is not, they are finding it difficult. Another thing is, sir,
One by one, I think we should answer one by one. That will be, or any of please.
I'm talking about the problems which the SSG and our bridge team has to solve, and that is why the problem should be known. We talk about plastic. Since 2016, the plastic has been banned. Reusable, throwable plastic. But nothing is being done. What about the controlling authorities? So they have to tackle these things. Mixed land use. Mixed land use every time because the industry is being looked after and the term for the mixed land use is being extended for 5 years more. You are giving a lifeline to the industry, so to say, but that's not a lifeline. You are required to move them out in clusters. And what about the people? People are suffering. And this is for the people that we are talking about. Cities are made not by the industry but by the people who live there. Even the industry is part of the people. And this is it, sir. What we need to do is, we need clean air, clean water, and a soil which is not polluted by reverse boring. So these are the things we need to look after, and I think we'll get a very good answer from the this team which has come. We are so grateful to MBCIE, to the lovely professional university, and of course to the Birmingham City University. We are very, very grateful to you, sir, and look forward to have living conditions in Ludhiana. Thank you so much.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have. You mentioned about the twin cities or tri-city or other things, but if you see, the entire western world had suburbs. So suburbs were taking pressure off what you were saying, high density population. I think it is good to encourage suburbs, isn't it?
It is not happening here. I think you can always see why Chandigarh traffic, Chandigarh pollution is more occupied. What they are doing? They are living in Mohali because there is rent is less. They live in Jirakpur because the rent is less. And they come everywhere, every time the vehicles, you see the Gurgama, the vehicles are coming to Delhi. So simple. So in that kind of things I have not seen. So they might be helping in the sense of mitigating the pollution, but here they are contributing in the pollution. So that is the issue.
Students, please.
Even within the cities, the people, the other thing, they can be helpful. I have to telling about the green belts. Everyone says that don't put trees in my front. I will go and plant the trees of the other. So how this is possible? Now indoor plants, so many things are coming, but the simple thing is, I always say the pollution has not come from anything outside. There are two groups of the persons living on the earth. One are polluters, others are non-polluters. So where I put myself? Simple. And the things, everything is for use, but not for misuse. You will say, no, you say that you should not use the vehicle, you should not use the technology. I am not saying that. Simple thing is use, but don't misuse. Please, anybody else?
Any last question from the students?
बच्चों पूछो जी कुछ आया समझ ये मोबाइल ही देखते रहे
Please pass on the mic.
Now
You want to ask? Please.
the rather I always tell to the student they should do the reverse teaching. What is reverse teaching? As he was pointing out that the pollution is being done by the senior ones. So you go to your parents, you go to your relatives and ask them, if you are polluting, we will not have a relationship. Because no pollution has come from outside. It is either me, either you, or either anybody else. Please.